Hello and welcome back. My name is Patrick. This is Patchworks. Today we're making a quick detour outside to pick some more of these red noodle beans as well as these flambeau beans, a lot of which are now ready. And I'm gonna bring you guys in close real quick just to show you what that looks like. And I have a correction to make from the last video about when these red noodle beans are ready to harvest. Hey there. So, per usual when I make these videos, I do very minor research ahead of time in terms of what I'm actually supposed to be looking for. And when I googled when to harvest these red noodle beans, it said pencil thick. And I think that was a little bit deceiving. And I'll show you guys why in just a sec. Because when I harvested them at pencil thick, I mean the beans that I got out of them were ridiculously tiny, comically tiny, even more so once they dried. I would say that if you're looking to dry store these like we are, a better thing to look out for with these red noodle beans, the skin now looks a little bit wrinkly. And not only do you feel the bean inside, but more importantly, it almost feels like an empty cavity in between each of the beans. This is actually pencil thick. Like this is the thickness of a pencil. Now the beans are there, but there's a lot of meat in between them as well. And as I was harvesting them, I realized that, I was wasting majority of the actual bean meat. You can eat these whole, it's just not what we're looking to do. So if you're looking to dry harvest them, both of these, although they are slightly different sizes, in between these beans, it feels almost hollow, and you can really feel the bean there pronounced. So let's grab a few of these, and then let's take a closer look at those flambeau beans. Alright guys, well, we got about the same amount of beans as we did the first time, but when I show you inside, this is actually going to yield a whole lot more actual beans themselves. Now let's take a look at these flambeau beans. So these flambeau beans, a lot of them are ready. I'm going to leave some of them on. What you want with these flambeau beans is you want basically all the green to have faded away. You want it to be mostly this bright kind of fuchsia, almost pink, with white speckles in the background. So once the green has gone and it's just this bright pink and white, that's how you know the flambeau beans are ready. And if I was to leave this on for another day or two, you could almost hear the beans rattle inside as well. And this right here is what we're looking at. Now a lot of my beans fell over because I weeded recently, and it turns out the weeds had been helping these beans stand up. So a lot of them are falling over, but they're still growing very well, and they're about to be done harvesting anyway. So this is what it looks like, and we have probably, what is that, seven bean pods right on this one plant. And we have all these plants and a few more a few rows over. So let's pick these, go back inside, and take a look at what we got. Oh no! Not the beans! We are done harvesting the beans. We're back inside. Coke Zero, not sponsored yet. And these are, we got a bunch of flambeau beans and a bunch of pole beans. So I'm going to show you guys what those look like right here. These are some of those red noodle beans that I took out earlier today just to double check, and these are the size that the beans are supposed to be. Okay, they're going to shrink ever so slightly as they dry. It's going to take like a day or two for them to dry in this kind of humidity. Now these are some of those flambeau beans, the 2 pods that we harvested last week. These are the red noodle beans that we harvested last week. So look at the difference in size there. These are basically useless, you know, they amount to nothing. These are like actual bean sized. So that's why the pencil thick doesn't really jive for me. So this is what a mature flambeau bean looks like. I was showing you guys outside. So you want to harvest them when they're right about here. A little bit, a day sooner or a day later probably won't hurt you. The only problem with leaving them on too long is if they dry out and then get wet, they can mold, or pests and birds can get them. This is actually what it looks like when they dry out on the vine. Now this almost became like white and purple. And inside, these beans really, hopefully they're not eaten by a pest or something, but these ones are basically done, and it pays to wait until the food's ready to harvest before you harvest it. Who would have thunk it, right? And this is really just a kind of time-consuming process. It's not particularly difficult. If you get the seam right, it rips all the way down, and if not, then it's kind of a pain. I'll talk to you guys in a sec when these are all opened. And this is what we're left with. So, a bunch of empty husks right here. And these are all the beans that we got from today. So, it ends up being about like, you know, a quarter, maybe a fifth or a sixth of what you actually harvest in terms of like meat. All this stuff will be going on the compost pile. And these will shrink as they dry out. And I have to assume that these green beans, I can already see in some spots, are turning pink and white. So these green ones will get more color as they dry. The dried flambeau beans are kind of this purplish pink and white. And these just seem to turn kind of like a tan color as well. We're going to throw these in the basement where the onions have been curing. And the onions are done curing, as I believe. I think, at least that's what I'm going to say they're done curing. It's been at least a month. It's been like longer than a month for sure. And we are going to be braiding the onions. Now, we're not going to be doing like a traditional braid. I was watching a video the other day on how you can attach them on a string and hang them. So we're going to be hanging them from the rafters in the basement. So I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. See you in a sec. So here are the onions we've been curing, and you hear how crispy those are? Those are cured, or about as cured as they're gonna get. And so today we're gonna be trying to braid them. So I think we should get probably like 4 braids of onions. I've never done it before, and I'm probably gonna mess it up. So let's try it out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang them from the rafters here. You just kind of tie them up. To start off with, I gotta cut majority of these stems off, and I will be composting all of these excess. It's just I'm gonna cut them and I'm gonna sweep them up after. And I think you leave like 3-4 inches up top here to braid. Now it's not gonna be like a full-on braid. They more just kind of sit on top of each other, and I'll show you a little bit more in detail. This is not a how-to, but I am myself following a video on YouTube. This was easier than making a whole like onion bin. We don't have mice in the basement right now, but we did last year. I'm pretty sure I sealed everything. But the cool thing about this is I could hang these in kind of the middle of the, like a middle rafter, where there'd be no way for the mice to get to it. Everything else down here is going to be in jars and cans, glass jars, so they're not going to be able to get into it. This is really the main target that they could potentially get. So I want to make sure we have them in a, storing them in a way that we don't have to worry about that. So, oh my goodness, this thing keeps spinning. It's like a magnetic onion. What's going on? It starts with just one string tied with an onion in the middle and tied together at one end. I just have a nail up here in the rafters. And then you want the largest onion on the bottom, and I'm going to be doing the top as one and then the bottom as one. These do have significantly different sized onions. And then, from what I see, you just kind of lay your onions, and I'm just like twisting them around kind of with the stems that are left, and they are supposed to just kind of hold each other. And that's, I did not cut off any of the, I gotta cut off the roots of these too, or rip them off, I guess. Nope. I think that's part of it. You tuck the stems down underneath. And it should be that like the weight from the onion on top of it kind of holds it down. From the video I saw, it didn't really give a good instruction on how to twist the onion stems. It just kind of seemed like they tucked them a few times, so that's really all I'm doing. Hopefully the first time we walk down here and bump into this, it doesn't all just fall out. That would suck. And I'm sure spinning it like this is not good for their stability either. But it just keeps spinning. And I should have mentioned earlier, these onions have been curing for at least 4 weeks, probably closer to like 6 weeks, maybe even longer. I'll check it and I'll put a timestamp below how long these onions have been down here, but you can see they've been on this table here, and I had a real tiny fan blowing air over them, and you can see these skins are much drier, and that's what you're looking for to cure these onions. They should be able to store down here. I think it says 3 to 6 months. Yeah, we're gonna have to go through all these over the winter before they start going bad. That doesn't seem like a whole lot of time. I'm gonna be canning some of these as well. I love pickled onions. I feel like I've mentioned that in like the last 3 videos. Should be good. Those can last for a whole lot longer. And there we have it, guys. This is the first of 4 onion braids. Let's do that 3 more times. All right, so we have successfully braided our onions. Now we're gonna keep them here for now. They're kind of right in the walkway of this area. We're gonna push them back to that second one, but first I have to clean up, I gotta clean up all that. And then we're gonna go ahead and dust this off, vacuum a little bit, and start loading on all of our cans, all of our canned goods that we've canned so far. I'm pickling more cucumbers today, we're drying out more beans today, and I'll show you guys what the beans look like, because it's been a few days since the start of this video, and they've actually dried out pretty well. Right here we have those peaches that we made in the last video. I'm just gonna put them on the second shelf. We're gonna be keeping the pickles as well as probably the yams on the top shelf. I know you can't keep potatoes and onions stored together. I'm not sure if that counts for sweet potatoes because they're so different. Yeah, I guess we'll find out when I harvest those. I'll do some Googling, or let me know in the comments below. So down here will be our kind of sweet things. I'm thinking peaches. We're gonna be pressure canning pumpkin because it's also not very acidic. So you gotta pressure can it. And we're probably gonna be canning apples as well. We'll be picking those in probably another month or so. Not from us, at a local orchard. Alright, so we have 22 cans of peaches left because we started off with 24. I ate one. I think I gave one to a friend. So we got 22 peaches right here. Let's go put the cucumbers up top. So these right here are the first batch of pickles that we made. And if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and watch the video linked up top. I'll link it below as well. The canning was a success, but I way over salted these things, so they are very likely practically inedible. I'd be really disappointed if they weren't. I mean, it was a great learning experience, but I have since canned more pickles that I did do successfully. I'm going to be making some bread and butter pickles today as well. I have them soaking upstairs. I'm going to get started on this after that. It's been at least 4 weeks for all these for sure. Guys, these are the beans from earlier in the video. It's been about 3 days and they have dried. Now I'm going to be more careful as I harvest the rest of these flambeau beans because the ones that were like super green, as it turns out, did not become this striped red, purplish white. They just kind of turned white. The red noodle beans dried out. They still got significantly smaller than they were, but not nearly as small as those first ones that I harvested way too early. So these we're dry canning. So we're just going to throw these in a jar, and I'm just going to throw a desiccant pack on them just for any humidity that's in the air so they don't go bad, because we are going to be closing these just to prevent any pests and stuff like that, or my cat from knocking them over and messing with them. So we still have a lot of beans to harvest, and so I'm just going to keep this tray down here, and then just every day or so I'm going to come down and shell some more beans, dry them out, and when they're dried I'll just add them to the jar, and they should be good to store year long. These dried out have a very long shelf life. 2 is probably overkill. I'm throwing 2 desiccant packs in there, and that's our flambeau beans. First real harvest of the flambeau beans. We don't have that many. I mean, we'd probably fill up 1 whole jar of these, being totally honest. Next year, I'll probably focus more on yield and harvest, because for all this work, I want to be left with more than just a jar of dried beans. Curing of the onions went really well. If you hadn't seen that onion harvest or the curing video, I'll have them linked back to back and down below. Of the 100 or so onions that we were able to harvest and we left down here to cure, it seems that only like 2 or so didn't really cure, and I'm not sure if they didn't cure or they just need more time, but they both are kind of squishy. All the other onions, very hard, very firm. So these 2 feel significantly different. I'm assuming these are not cured properly. I'll cut them open later, see if we can eat them, but I didn't want to hang them with the rest of the onions and risk having them all rot. And we can take a look at everything we have stored up so far. Now, we do have a lot of tomatoes in the freezer, and once basically the harvest is done with the tomatoes, I'll thaw those out and we'll do a massive kind of tomato sauce canning. All right, well, that is it for today's video. We have our onions braided. We have all our canned goods so far out on the table here. We got a whole bunch of pickles. We got a few beans, hopefully a lot more coming. We have canned peaches. We're gonna be filling these up a whole lot more. We still have to harvest our sweet potatoes. We have a whole bunch of these like very dark bluish purple sweet potatoes. Those we'll be harvesting, I think, in probably another month. We have all of that corn that we're gonna be storing dry and using for cornmeal. We have a whole lot of popcorn to harvest. All of those pumpkins we're gonna be trying to can as well. This is all getting me excited because I'm seeing these hanging here. I'm seeing this store here. I can't wait. The goal is, in a few years, to have our own place down south and a whole kind of root cellar dedicated to just storing our food from our harvest. And so if you guys want to see that journey in hopefully another 2-3 years, be sure to subscribe. Drop a like if you guys like what you saw. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think I should have done differently. Let me know what you guys want to be seeing for next year. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.